I think that's one of the most exciting things year to year, seeing the updated equipment, all the new drivers in January. Even though leaps in technology aren't really happening in the same way that we saw maybe 5 years ago, with
Yeah.
driver technology in particular, it's kind of like phone technology, right? There's not really much difference these days between iPhone to iPhone, Android phone to the next Android phone. Samsungs have looked the same for about the last 10 years. iPhones have been on the big blocky style for the last 4 to 5 years.
All drivers maxed out.
It's a good question. It's probably one of the most common things we see in our comments section, which is true and isn't true. It is true because the USGA has limited things: head size to 460 cc's, shaft length to 46 inches, something called CT, which no one understands, but it's how fast the ball comes off the face, and that's at a number called like 257 microsecond. How fast it can come off the face is based mostly off center strikes. Drivers nowadays are getting better at maximize that distance farther and farther across that face, and that's not completely maxed out. Aerodynamics is the second one. They're squeaking out 1 to 2 miles an hour sometimes a year with some of these new driver designs. There's probably not that much runway left for aerodynamics. Next is adjustability. Cobra Adapt is a perfect example, and the ability that it gives the fitter is allowing them to fit golfers better to get more of those yards out of what they're leaving on the table than previous drivers. The next couple are interesting, is shaft options. The Cleveland driver that's in our test this year has only a couple shaft options for us to test. Titleist might have 10 to 12. Which do you think is going to give us better options to maximize that potential of a golfer? Last and not least, golf ball driver matchup. There is a lot of extra distance also being left on the table by just matching up the best ball for your exact driver that you're playing. When you see the testing and the realness, you do see that there's still some room for improvement, yet that room for improvement is getting smaller and
So
smaller.
we're just kind of seeing different colorways. We've seen Ping roll out the G440. We've seen some iterations of the new Callaway driver. They've returned to the green, black, and white setup of a few years ago as well. So not much innovation going on. No surprise here. We're probably going to see at least 10 different putters this year from Hideki. Um, we kind of touched on his propensity to update his putters throughout the year. So here we see him rocking the Scotty Cameron 009. Typically, I mean, we don't see him with a lot of black finishes. I think this is kind of a standout in that way.
Yep.
But kind of his typical style or shape of putter. Any comment here?
He said he liked somebody, he saw somebody with a center shafted putter, liked the way it looked, went over to Scotty, had him built it right then and there on the spot, welded and everything. And so that's a custom one of one right there.
Yeah, I know
Um,
you. I know you hate the center shafted putter.
yeah, I was looking at it on TV though, and it doesn't present that bad.
I
Because
think
to
his is
me,
slightly offset of center. I wouldn't say it's. I
right,
mean, you can look at the center line and it's not straight down the center.
yeah, because it to me it feels like it's a perfect mesh of it lining up to where that mesh and that weld lines up right with where the ball is right in front of it. So it gives
Hmm.
him a center point to adjust to or address it at every time that he addresses a putt. So I think his is kind of like you said, a little bit off kilter. So I think that it does look a little bit better than the usual like traditional center shafted right out the middle and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he rolled it just fine.
Yep.
As I've told you in the past, I'm really drinking the Kool Aid on Scotty right now. I mean, it's definitely worth the investment, especially if it's going to be something you're going to be using, 4 or 5 years, six
Yeah.
years, 10 years, like some of these
Well,
guys do. So,
yeah. I mean, once you find something that fits your eye, you stick with it. But not him. I mean, not this dude.
yeah,
Let's keep it rolling. Not a surprise here. Colin Morikawa with the new driver putting the new QI 35 in the bag. So low spin. No surprises. I mean, most of the TaylorMade guys change it up every single year. I mean,
yeah.
there is one surprise at the end here though.
No, I mean, I've seen the QI 35. It's okay. I mean, it sounds better, but looks uglier. Like that. I mean, like it's that ugly gray. It's like kind of in between gunmetal gray and like light gray. It's not that like it's not the shiny finish. It's that matte. It's got a little bit of like rocket balls green in it, you know. But if the tech
Yeah,
is there, you know, so be it for tailor-made players. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I'm right on that. I'm all about the. I wouldn't say all about it, but I'm really in love with just a traditional all black glossy driver
Yeesh.
like that right now.
To each his own, right?
Yeah.
Here again, as I mentioned, the new Callaway Elite. They've
Mm-hmm.
returned to the again black, white, and green colorway.
Of the
Um,
Epic.
yeah. So I mean, not much to say here. It kind of is what it is. Callaway has put out some really strong drivers. The AI Smoke last year was highly rated. I mean, if I'm an amateur, I don't switch drivers. I mean, what do you think the amateur frequency should be for changing drivers? 3, 4 years now at this point?
Should be, unless you got money like that to blow, or you get fitted or something like that. You make an extreme leap, and you
Yeah, like in
really
your
invest in
game.
yourself. Yeah, you
Yeah,
really invest in yourself. But yeah, it should be these things should be lasting you much like a putter. You're not hitting your driver 50 times out the round. Now, some of these range rats that, you know, only hit driver and then go and then hit their putter and stuff like that, they might need to switch it out and because of the dead face or whatever that they may call it. But yeah, I mean, it should last you multiple seasons
yeah.
nowadays the way that these things are constructed.
I'm very interested to see with the pros as kind of the gap between years tightens, right? So with very little difference, if we start seeing pros, like especially a guy like Xander who had a really good year last year, you put something new in the bag. Let's say you start off slowly to the year. Do you retreat back to what you've played in the past? We've seen Morikawa, retreat back to a previous year's driver. I think he was what playing the M. God, I want to say it was the
He's playing the
M2
Sim 2 for a
or
long
Sim
time.
Sim 2 Sim 2. That's
Yeah.
right. So you go with what works, and especially again as these iterations stop having the same pop. I mean, I know it's all about, they'll say optimization, optimization, and the numbers look great, but
Yeah.
real world performance is a thing. And if you just find yourself hitting a couple more fairways or finding the side of the fairway that you want to find more often, I mean, there's something to that. I know they'll go tweak it until they get the right thing out of it, but why not? I know with these club deals, it gets so dicey and, not losing money out on those club deals. But if you
Yeah.
can go just pull something out of the garage that worked and it feels good in the hand, I don't know. I'd be tempted if it was me to just say, hey, we'll keep the head cover on it until we need to. But I don't know.
I mean,
Over the next,
just think about Matt Fitzpatrick. Matt Fitzpatrick um is still using a TSI 3 Tyler's driver in the bag. His main gamer, the face split, and he had a backup of the TSI 3.
this one was the one I was saying was surprising. So finally, Aaron Rye goes from the TaylorMade M6 to the GT2. M6 with the glued neck. I mean, we're not even talking about some crazy, adjustability from
Adjustments.
that
Yeah.
one. So, GT2 in the bag. What do you think about Aaron Rye finally making the leap to improve his driver?
I mean, it'd be good. The GT2 is really good. I mean, you don't, again, I mean, yeah, you got an adjustable weight on it, but it's not anything crazy that you have to deal with. You don't have like the swing weight as far as heel strikes versus toe strikes. All you have to do is worry about the traditional hosel settings from the Titleist, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the GT2 is the what you would call the more forgiving line of it. The GT3 would be like the player design. Then the GT4 is like, of course, the smaller head, smaller profile, ultimate, you know, elite one. But yeah, I think it's a good look on him.
Yeah. Fine.
I'm
We'll see
glad
if
he finally made a move.
we'll see if he also upgrades the shoes. I feel like Aaron Rye wears some golf shoes from about 6 years ago, about yellowed out as you can get. Maybe this is the year of the upgrade for Aaron, as he had a pretty successful year last year. Quite a few top tens and highly competitive finishes. So shout out to him.
Got him a win.
Um, got him a win. That's right. So this is just kind of going over some new Scotty putters. Again,
Hmm.
we're kind of things. I feel like the golf lineup. I mean, Scotty's definitely evolved over these last few years, but I feel like he's starting to steal from the Odyssey lineup. There's a lot of parallels in the shaping and kind of the color blocking to attract the eye. I know you said you spoke to some of the technology that some of the Scotty putters were implementing last year. It looks like he's continuing to advance that.
I mean, it's really just and I think it's kind of like the driver situation. There's only so many different models that you can steal and rip off of people. It's all about the quality of the work that you put in and how much money people want to spend on it. So, I mean, he's staying around his usual ballpark, 425, 450. I mean, looking at this jailbird situation, I mean, it's a really catchy putter. Me personally, it's just way too big and bulky. Um, I recently just bit the bullet, like I was telling you, and I got the 5.5. That's about as much as I can do. The 7.5 is like more of like the Callaway with the two fangs that Sam Burns uses. Even that
Yeah.
is just too long and fangy and stuff like that. So yeah, I really felt like I picked the one for me. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been a Blade player, a Blade user. I mean, I'm just thinking back to the putters that I have now still in the bag. None of them are traditional blades. The one that I had, the ping one that I had that for a while, that was a wide blade. Even then, it still had a lot of help on it, still had a lot of forgiveness. And then the
Yeah,
ping I
I've
had before that, yeah, I can't do it,
yeah,
bro. I can't do
I've
blades
never
anymore.
I've never owned a bladed putter. I just never, even from when I first started. I can
Yeah,
remember my first putter was a half mallet
the
ram.
Nike.
No, before that, when I first started playing, the set I got did not have a putter, so I picked up a ram from, I can't even remember, but yeah. So I've never had a bladed putter. Let's keep moving. I think this one, yeah. Next two slides, actually. We see Jake Knapp was playing the 425. He's been a ping guy. I think he had the 430 in the bag. He had the 430 in the bag at some point, the LST, then went back to the 425. Now playing the PXG Black Ops Tour 1. I've been saying this for a while, especially because I have a few PXG clubs in the bag, and people always ask me how they play. And I think disproportionately, when PXG came out, they were very high priced, and I think the tech was very questionable, right? They were trying to make their
Yeah,
money back quickly, and the R&D hadn't been there. But at this point in the game, the club technology has gotten so good that we used to see people with the PXG hats and they have a club or two in the bag, just for sponsorship dollars. But I think we're seeing people adapt to PXG for clubs that actually matter. I
yeah,
mean, when somebody's trusting the driver, that says a lot, especially a guy who is now a tour winner, had a really successful rookie season last year. I think it speaks to what PXG is actually doing, and it's no longer just this kind of frat boy, lineup of clubs, that it's actually being taken seriously on tour.
yeah. I mean, I'll let you rule this one because I typically do not even see PXG in my friend group or anything like that. So I
Yeah.
am,
I mean, I gave up my PXG driver again. Wasn't It was okay. I think it was the dispersion was pretty sloppy sometimes, but it
yeah,
had distance to it. Now I'm just down to wedges, pretty much to my 58 through pitch and wedge, and I love those. I think they're really
yeah.
quality wedges. All forged, feel really good off the face. So I'd be interested when it's time for another driver change out or to consider another driver, seeing what PXG is offering at that time. Um, Next up, I think it's Christian. No, these slides are all over the place. New balls. I'm not gonna dig too deep into this. Pro V1, Pro V1X. We've talked about the different feel change from the V1 to the V1X over the last couple of years. V1X is getting really soft and feels great. Used to be really
Yeah,
clicky off clubs. I think the Pro V1X has come a long way in feel. You know, performance
yeah,
is what it is. It's top quality, but feel is completely different.
agreed, agreed. I really feel
Yeah.
like the Pro X, definitely is way more playable for not the fastest swing speeds. That's why I enjoy it so much. So yeah, I definitely think they made the right move.
Yep. So Christian Bezodenhout also has
Yeah, I
signed
saw
with
that.
PXG. 0311.
Full
So this is a
bag.
driver style that they've kept in their lineup for a while and continue to iterate it. Clearly, this is you can see from the neck. It's a tour version of this driver. But he's got 3 wood and like you said, full bag.
Yeah,
Um,
they make
my
some decent
pitch and
putters
wedge.
too. They're
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean,
They're out there as far as
there's
putter.
they're taking pretty much what everybody else does with putters, and not that they're not being inventive, but I mean, you take what's been tried and true, and then you roll with it. Sugar daddy
They have a
wedges have
few
been highly
concepts.
rated for, yeah. Sugar Daddy Wedges have been highly rated for a while. They were probably the first club I want to say that people took seriously from
Hmm.
PXG. They've gotten away from all the riveting and individual kind of billets and gone to this style with this bigger weight in the center that's
Yeah,
adjustable. So they're evolving the tech. I mean, I think I respect that they're not just kind of sitting on their laurels and kind of saying, okay, well, we have a certain market of folks that will play us just to look exclusive. They're actually taking this thing serious. So kudos to them. You get a lot of stuff out of this channel, y'all. A little business knowledge, a little technical golf knowledge, a little BS in here and there. You're in a well-rounded environment. So
absolutely.
uh hit that subscribe button, hit that membership button. We got you covered on all things golf.